Welcome, welcome. Sunday, November 3rd, 8 o'clock a.m. Great to have everybody here. Welcome, welcome to Accelerators Organization. Every time we come into the Zoom, make sure that you change your name like that so everybody knows what you do. And then, does everybody know how to use the raise your hand option on here so that if you want to ask a question or get some advice on something, you just raise your, everybody know how to do that? Or should I say, is there anybody that does not know how to do that? Okay, great, great, great. And I think if you put your thumb up, or maybe mine doesn't do that. Maybe I don't have my emojis on. Okay, great. So I don't have any news other than, as you guys have been seeing in the mobile app notifications I've been doing, I am going to be doing away with the general membership of Accelerators Organization come January 1st. It's been a long, arduous decision thinking about the direction that I want to take what I do in life with the new lifestyle that I've got of getting on the road next year for a couple years and doing fifth wheeler life. And then taking a look at the success as a mentor and coach that I've had over the years. And both of those intersected with, I really enjoy the relationships that I build with people, talking to them during the week and during the month, doing coaching. And I get a chance to actually help people recruit. I get a chance to help people hire people, go through the ups and downs and trials and tribulations over and above what we talk about here on the weekly Zooms. They're more intimate conversations of what's really holding us back. And I really enjoy that. So we are going to get rid of the general membership of AO, and starting on the 1st of January, for individuals that do want to stay involved with me as a mentor and coach in the organization, we will still have access to the different mentors that are available, but we're not going to do the ask a question thing anymore. That'll be handled during coaching, and then I'll bring in other mentors and coaches to assist from time to time at no additional charge. The minimum rate to stay in the organization is going to be $250 a month, and it will come with one coaching call per month. And then I'll be a little bit generous like I usually am. And if there's an emergency throughout the month, I can't wait for the monthly call, I'll still be available. I still will be available to use the question and answer through the mobile application and the portal, but it'll just be mostly me answering the questions and getting back with you so that I can really be more intimately involved in your business as you try to grow next year. I really want to have sizable impact on businesses of the entrepreneurs that I coach. Like, my minimum is I really want to be able to add $25,000+ of income to somebody that I work with. And I just really I really feel more success in what I do when I can really make an impact. I know the emotional impact is there of just providing a place to talk about things, but I want it to be a little bit more tangible as well. So if you want to talk about it, if you have to drop out, I understand, because it's a bigger financial obligation. There's no hard feelings. We can still be friends. You can reach out from time to time and say hello. If you need to talk about it, get more clarification, just get a hold of me. Book an appointment with me through the mobile application. Heather and JB, we'll just keep it the same for you guys, as far as you don't have to both pay. We'll treat it as one person, even though it's both of you. If you guys do want to stay on board, I do have zero doubt that over the course of 12 months, you guys would have a great return continuing to work with me. So, if you have any questions, just get a hold of me through the mobile application and book an appointment. I know I'm talking to a couple of you guys next week already. Okay, so and then the other thing is for those of you that are staying around, we are modifying the last event of the year to the February 20th weekend. So if you do want to come to the very last AO event at this property here in Franklin, at least, it's going to be the weekend of February 20th. I'm selling the house, and so that'll be the last event. We're not going to do the January event. We're going to combine the February event into the annual award ceremony, as well as a combined AO squared group. There's a group outside of AO called AO squared, and it's the people that are mostly doing $1 million in revenue, or I've been coaching them for a while. So put that in your calendars if you want to attend the very last event. It's going to be an amazing, amazing event. Okay, that's it. So let's get to any questions that you guys have. Raise your hands if you want to be the next in line, and I'll just call on you. So for right now, the first person that wants to go, just raise your hand up. Go ahead, Randy.
So I got a chance to talk to my boss on the of the this construction company that I'm working with, and we're building a really nice house up at the top of this lake here in North Idaho. And I was telling him about some VR stuff because we had a little conversation, and I kind of just felt like it was a good time to kind of bring it up to him and just kind of feel him out. And he's really into it, and he wants to see what it's all about and talk about it. But I'm just kind of wondering if you have any tips about how to kind of approach it, because there's that dynamic between like employer and employee, and I want him to feel comfortable to like nerd out with me about it and just really get into it, and not feel like he's maybe compromising the relationship dynamic, so he still feels comfortable being my boss, and but also feels comfortable like kind of getting into this idea with me a little bit. So do you have any tips on how I could approach that?
Well, what's the outcome that you're looking for?
I just really want to hear his ideas and his real opinions about it, and his criticisms of it, and his if he's excited about something with it, and he sees it going one direction. I just want him to feel comfortable talking about it, and that's it. I just want to get
What
his
would
true opinions.
what makes you think he wouldn't be comfortable?
Just because as a boss, he wants to, I would imagine, maintain a position of, I guess, like an authority, and not, kind of keep a, instead of being too much of like a friend, you know, because I know bosses kind of have a hard time balancing out between being like a friend and being a boss, but I want him to feel comfortable just talking to me openly about what he really thinks about it, and if he's really excited about it, like just being excited about it, and talking about it freely with me, you know. So
These are all of these thoughts and assumptions are things that you're making up in your head, right?
yeah, I'm definitely, that's just stuff I'm making up in my head, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a good learning lesson. This is something that's very common. People say, well, how do I talk to my significant other about this? How do I talk to my boss about this? How do I talk to my employee about this? How do I talk to, my vendor about this?
Hmm.
You have a conversation. Instead of trying to
Yeah.
make assumptions, the easiest thing to do is not complicate it and just have a conversation. So frame out what it is that you want to talk about. Hey, Joe, want to sit down with you for a couple minutes about this VR project that I'm doing because I'd love to kind of set the tone of how I could maybe involve you from just a feedback, whatever the outcome is that you're looking for. So, Joe, I'd really love to, outside of what I do for you as an employee, I have this VR company that I'm trying to build. I would love for you to be an advisory board, not a formal, but an informal advisory board type of person for my organization. Give me feedback, things like that. Is that something that you would be interested in doing? I'd love to have your opinion since you're in the industry. And this would be totally separate from me working for you, because this is obviously my project. And you have to be very clear and succinct of what you want in
Hmm.
order to get something. So be crystal clear of what you want from him, and then just have a frank dialogue of this is what I would hope to have with our relationship. Is that something you'd be open to?
And that's a great way to frame it too, is like an advisor. That is pretty much what I would be looking for, like somebody like him to just be somebody who really gives me good advice, and points me in the right direction, and I'd like to really see it improve his company too, because he doesn't even have like a really good website. There's not a lot of options up here when it comes to finding a contractor. So he gets to work, and he does a really good job. I've done work with other construction companies, and his work is like really good quality, and I think this could really help him grow as a company,
Well, you
and
got to ask him.
provide.
Once again, you're making assumptions of things that you think that he wants in your own head. You're having all
Yeah.
this dialogue in your own head about what somebody wants. So you
Uh-huh.
may think that you would like to have all that type of stuff, but that's you thinking what you want for his business.
Yeah. It's,
So,
well,
so have, so have a conversation with him and say, hey, are you interested in, don't just make all of these blanket assumptions of what you think somebody would want. It's like I experienced this with Ask a Millionaire. People are like, oh, all millionaires are this way. And I'm like, really? I know a lot of different millionaires, and all of us have different personalities and desires. It's like saying, are all women one way? Are all men one way?
mhm.
Are all Republicans one way, or all Democrats one way, or all lesbians one way, or all gay people one way? Like, stop grouping people into, a thing. Have frank, open dialogue with each individual person and say, Joe, I've got ideas for your business. I don't even know if you'd be interested in, but I love to help because I'm an entrepreneur. I have ideas. Are you interested in hearing some of the things that I think I could do to help your business? If not,
Uh,
no big deal, no harm, foul. But
Yeah.
these conversations that we have in our head need to actually be with the people that we're thinking about.
Right.
So go confirm all of these ideas that you have instead of thinking about it so much. Just go have the conversations.
Mhm. Yeah, I do have ideas of how it could improve his business, but I'm wondering if
Maybe he
it
doesn't
would
want to.
be
Maybe he doesn't want to improve his business. Maybe he doesn't want to improve his business. So
yeah,
go
that's
find
what
out.
I'm saying. So
Yeah.
so
First
I should just not just don't bring that stuff up, but just keep it in the frame of like I just want to get some advice from you and just see what you think about it and just keep it like that and not tell him like my my ideas of how I see it could improve his business. Just keep that to
well,
myself and just
no, I'm not saying just keep it to yourself. What I'm saying is ask him if he's interested. You're mixing two things here.
uh-huh.
First is you get his feedback on the product itself that you're developing. The second is you're trying to go, but I want to see how I can use it for your business. Those are two different conversations
Hmm.
or two
Okay.
different topics. So the
I
one
guess.
is I respect you as a business person, so I'd love your feedback on what I'm developing.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
The second thing is I'm wondering if there's anything as we do this, I'm wondering if there's anything that we could use with what I'm building that
Hmm.
could benefit your business. And I could use your business as a beta test, to test out some different things to see if it can benefit your business. Is that something you'd be open to?
That's perfect. Well, I mean,
You
it's
see what I'm saying?
simple as yeah, I see. I see what you're saying now, but hearing you say it like you just say it like in such a simple, perfect way, and that's great. I'm gonna say exactly that probably. I think.
Cool. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing with you, B. You have all these conversations in your head, right? Heather, he has all these conversations in his head, and you're probably telling him, just get on the phone, right? You have all
Mm.
these conversations in your head. Go talk with people and just ask them, what would it take to do some business with you? Here's what I've got. This is what I do. I'm really good at what I do. I don't even know if you'd be interested in this or not, but I have it. I'd like to
Hmm.
think that people at your would like to use the soaps that we do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about JB here. So these are conversations that we have in our head because we just think about it too much. Let's go have conversations with the people that we're thinking about and include them in the conversation and give them a chance to contribute and give feedback to it.
Okay. Is that normal to be having conversations like that in my head, or is that like, do you not do
Well,
that?
well,
Like,
well, what's normal? Define normal.
I don't know.
Normal is very subjective. Common sense is very subjective, right? So don't worry about my thing is don't worry about what's normal, because who cares if it's one person, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 20% of people? Is that going to change the dynamic of the way that you should do things in order for you to achieve success? Right? We don't need to
That's
compare to somebody else what their normal is. Like, so you know what, Sean, you're right. You know, I don't need to worry about whether somebody else does this too. I'm more be concerned about you.
well, I feel like I'm doing the good thing by thinking about how the conversation is going to go in my head before I have it, and kind of trying to plan it out. But I also do notice that a lot of times when I do that, the conversation goes in a totally another direction, and all my planning and thinking about it beforehand is just totally like goes to shit. And so, I mean, maybe, yeah, maybe I should do less of that, is what I'm saying, I guess, to have a more effective result out of the conversation that I'm about to have.
Absolutely. It's in sales, which is kind of what you're trying to do here. It's a form of a sales process.
Mm-hmm.
That's why very first things, you've already got the very first thing of the sales process done is you've developed a rapport with this guy. Like, so you've got
Mm-hmm.
some rapport built. That's usually the first part of sales is developing some sort of establishment of a rapport. But the second thing is what do we normally do as a salesperson? We don't just go in there and start pitching our product because we don't even know if they're interested. We first have to ask questions. We got to
Mm-hmm.
do what's called a bit of discovery. We got to ask questions and determine if there's even a need. So the first thing is you're like, I just want your help and feedback because I respect you as an entrepreneur. That's one topic of your conversation. If he says, oh, yeah, that'd be great. Then maybe as he gets into it and he starts to see it, you go, I was thinking this might be something that we could do for your business. Instead of me just making up a thing for a widget company, why not? Would you be okay if I did something specific for your company and then you give me feedback and we build something for yours that might benefit your company? Would you be open to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
that's
we
good.
always we always want to start with asking questions to determine if there's even just a need there, right?
Right.
And then at the end of the day, the last thing I'll say, Randy, is we have to be very careful to not seek somebody's opinion as though that could potentially, you didn't say this, but you're right on the edge of, I just want your opinion because I want to see if this is something you think is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of the story with Airbnb back in the very beginning days. They were trying to raise $150,000, I think, or $100,000 at a $1.5 million valuation, not billion.
Mm-hmm.
And they got letter after letter after letter from private equity groups saying, we just don't think that there's a lot of market opportunity for a company like Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
So if we listen to people, if we seek attention of or affirmation that somebody believes in our idea, that's a very dangerous thing. We have
Yeah.
to believe in the idea enough. We want feedback, but at the end of the day, we have to believe that what we're doing will work. And it's just a matter of finding the right opportunities to match, with the idea that we've got.
Yeah.
You're,
And
you're
that is,
teaching right on that where you're asking him, I just want his opinion. Be careful. Opinions
yeah.
vary. It's more about large database of opinions and then
Mm-hmm.
finding where the opportunities are, right?
Yeah, definitely. And you're totally right. I do, I see that in myself, especially with this, me doing that kind of like seeking validation that it's a good idea. But I feel like that just because it's so new and so many people like they don't see the value of it, and it's like I see the value in it, and I really believe in the future it's going to be like changing a lot of different industries. But I feel like most people are kind of like not feeling it with that, and they're just like it's like some gaming thing. And so I totally get what you're saying, and
It could be a
I'm trying
combination
to
of a
be
bunch of
careful
things.
about that.
It could be a
What was that?
combination of a bunch. It could be a combination of a bunch of things. It could be a combination of you're talking to the wrong people, and it could be
Yeah.
a combination of your messaging is not clear enough.
Right.
So it could be a
Yeah.
combination of both. That's why I say
Mhm.
it's it's really we want to when we're working with somebody, especially in a conversational thing, it's very important for us to be crystal clear on what we want an outcome to be. And then it gives that person the ability to say yes or no, or ask questions to be involved,
Mhm.
right? If we don't tell people exactly what we want, how can they give it to us?
Mhm.
A lot of people are have created habits of saying what they don't want and what they don't like. And this bleeds over to personal relationships as well. Well, I don't like it when you do this. Okay, well, tell me what I need to do, right? Set people up for success. So set this guy up for success and say, this is what I would love to develop with you. I'd love for you to just give me feedback because I respect you as an entrepreneur and it can help open up ideas that I need to implement in my business as I build this thing. That might be
Mhm.
the first conversation. And then as the conversation develops or the relationship develops and it gives you feedback, then when you see something crystal clear that you think could help his business, say, gosh, Joe, I was thinking, as we're doing this, I could build this out specifically for your business. And since you're giving me feedback, it's not like I would charge you, but this would give me feedback and let me put it into a real life situation. Would you be open to that?
Mhm.
What's somebody going to say? No, when it's free and it's something that could help their business? Usually they're not going to say no. Usually. I say
Yeah.
no a lot. I say no a lot because I know crystal clear what I want out of my business and how I want to do it, and I've learned over time that, you know, not every opportunity is the right opportunity for me. I'm crystal clear on my goals and what I want. And if it's not included in my 2025 goals, and it doesn't matter if it can make me an extra $1 million. I go, you know what? I'm going to be happy at the end of the year if I accomplish the things that I set out for 2025. Maybe I'll put
Mhm.
that on the board to look at for 2026 because there's always shiny object syndrome everywhere. And that's why it's really important to say, is this something you'd be interested in? So same thing with
Yeah.
you, JB, calling these hotels. You guys are the best of the best in what you have. We own our goats. We raise our goats. Would you like to be a hotelier or retail shop that actually has a homemade product made right here in Tennessee with our hands and our goats that's different than some manufactured process? So blah, blah, blah. Are you the type of entity that wants something different and unique for your guests? It's going to cost you a little bit more, but that's the price. You also don't cost the same as the Holiday Inn Express, do you? So those are the types of conversations. You just want to find the people that are interested. And not everybody's going to be interested in it. And you couldn't even handle it if everybody was interested in it.
You're right. Absolutely. Cool. That's good advice, man. I'm glad I asked you that because that helps me out a lot.
Yep. There's really important to not have too many conversations in our own head.
Yeah, just too many expectations of how I think it's going to go and how I think it could improve his business. Because, like you said, like he's probably got a good idea of what he wants to do with the business, and that's just not the right way to frame it.
Yeah. Everybody's got a plan until they get knocked out.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Hell yeah.
Right. Not everybody didn't enter the ring with Mike Tyson without a plan, thinking they were going to beat him until he knocked him out.
Hmm.
So everything they thought in their head that the way it was going to go, it sure didn't go that way.
Yeah, like Jake Paul. Jake Paul's probably got a plan, but I don't think it's going to go the way he wants it to.
All he cares about is making the money. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He wins regardless of whether he wins or loses the fight.
Yeah.
All right, who is next? I don't see any hands raised, so
Somebody.
all right, go ahead, JB.
All right. Sorry. So yeah, we had a good week. The um we got our first wholesale order from a sort of newer wholesale, like a brand new wholesale customer. Hang on a second. Sorry, my daughter's here. I'm trying to keep her quiet in the background. It it was a good week. The big challenge we had this week was making the time to make the calls. It was like I did
Why do
do
you say
some.
why are you saying we there instead of I?
Okay. The big challenge I had this week was making the time to make the calls. The farm sometimes requires a tremendous amount of energy just to keep it running. right? Like processing chickens, cutting firewood, all the other stuff. And I know the business doesn't grow unless I'm doing sales. Like I get it. It's just I'm struggling a little bit with putting that at the top of my priority list. It's like you said about the shiny object, man. You know, like I want to make the phone calls, but then the goats are out in the road and somebody's got to fix the fence. And that is, it's just a mindset thing for me. I'm just going to have to make it so this is the first thing I do in the morning or something. But that's been the big struggle for me this week. And then last week we reached out to.
Let's talk about that first. So what
Sure.
how do you manage your calendar? Your
Uh,
daily and weekly.
I
What
have
software
a weekly
or
planner, and I write down one day a week, normally on Sundays. I go through and I sort of like put down the things that are priorities for every day. And then, of course, sometimes things wiggle around and you don't get to them quite when you wanted to. But that's generally the way that it works.
okay. So have you ever heard the term time blocking?
Yes,
Do you time block?
I do not.
We've tried.
Time block. You know, I understand there's emergencies if there's a goat in the road, but and it's just the two of you, and that, you know, is going to supersede, you know, time blocking. But remember, when you're calling on wholesale and hotel clients, if you will, there's only going to be a certain window of time in your day that you can actually get a hold of those people. So if you're going to call hotels, you're going to call them either early in the morning, which you probably aren't because you're going to be taking care of the farm, or you're going to call them not during checkout and check-in time. So you're going to call between 11 and 3 o'clock. 11 a.m. to 3 o'clock is going to be the best time for you to reach a general manager at a hotel. So if you time block 2 hours a day during those prime times, that's going to be the best time for you to call them. So you say every day, and you go into your calendar, and you can just, you know, if you want to make your calling time, you know, red, you know, change that to red and be like time block cold calling, right? And you just set it for, you know, 2 hours. Starts on 11/4, ends on, you can just say, you know, till the end of the year if you wanted to. And now every day from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, or that's 11 a.m. for 2 hours, that's time blocked. And if so, that's the way I would do it, is if you have whether it's a printed or you use a calendar, time block it so that every day that time, you know, that's what you're doing. And that way you wake up in the morning when you and Heather, you know, are looking at your day, you can say, okay, you know, you guys get together each morning and you say, okay, what do we have going on today? What is urgent? What are the things that I need to get to? And that way you can chart out your day every single morning. Like wake up first thing in the morning before the two of you do anything, get together, get a plan together of what the day is going to look like, go over the calendar and make it happen, and then stick to it. Emergencies are going to come up in life, but it's not going to happen every day, right? And so it's really important for the two of you to be in sync with your calendars, and then establish responsibilities of who can do this and who can do that. And try that for a week. Try that this week.
I think it's just making it a new habit, which we have not done yet.
Well, there you go. You can start it today.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Well, plan it today, and then plan on, okay, every morning.
Yeah.
And it's really important, since you guys are a husband-wife team, that you guys wake up at the exact, you know, you guys got to wake up at the same time, do your first little bit of 5 to 20 minutes of, you know, whatever you guys do individually, but then it's like, okay, we're going to meet at the dining room table, or we're going to meet at the whatever, and we're going to sit down with our calendars and we're going to plan out the day, have a piece of paper there with activities that have to be done today, what has to be done today only. Don't think so far about in the future. And then just do that every single morning. And then at the end of the day, you get together and you go, okay, what did we not get done that we said that we wanted to get done today? And then you can decide, well, maybe it just didn't need to get done, or do we carry that over till tomorrow? And you put it on the tomorrow list. But
Yeah,
get in that routine every single morning and every single night.
and he's upset that he didn't make all of these phone calls, yet he did make phone calls, and we're sending out 6 sample kits to 6 totally new places. So I
Right.
think he beats himself up way more than he should, because that's
Well,
6
What?
possibilities
Yeah, so
that he
don't-
did not have last week.
Yeah, so don't say that. Let him beat himself up. That's competition. That's what we do to ourselves. We don't want to say, hey, don't beat yourself up so much. Go, hey, keep knocking it out. I think you did great today. He's gonna feel that way internally, whether you say, don't stress yourself out, don't beat yourself. Like, that's gonna fall on deaf ears. He's got goals, he's got aspirations. The last thing you want to do is minimize that. We guys like me and him and that are, we thrive off that. Let us thrive. You just go,
Okay.
what can I do to support you, baby? You just say, what can I do to support you? I think you're
Okay.
doing great.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Don't, it's like in the history of telling a woman to calm down, have they ever calmed down?
no.
So it's the same thing. Whether you tell him to not to stress and don't beat himself up, he's going to, regardless of you saying it. So it's going to fall on deaf ears. So be the support. Because if you say, hey, baby, don't beat yourself up, don't stress out, then he thinks, well, gosh, I'm really trying, but I don't want to disappoint you, you know.
Mhm.
You feel like he might feel like you feel fearful or that he's not happy, but he's not saying that stuff because he's not happy. He's just saying he wants more. So
Okay.
how can I support you? What more can I do? I'll tell you what, if you had to go out there and take care of the goats, I'll go take care of the goats so you can make your phone calls. Like, what can I do to help so that you can accomplish your goals? So we're working as a team.
I did have one more little question. We got emails for, I think it was like 8 or 9 GMs from the week before. And so I templated out an email to send to him this week, and we had AI help us write it. And I just wasn't happy with it. Like, I didn't send it. I don't know if I'm just sort of like overanalyzing. I'm sure I'm overanalyzing it, but it just seems a little too salesy. And I know, like, the first like contact you have with that decision maker doesn't need to be real salesy, but you also need to kind of like tell them what you're wanting. So I don't know.
Let's take it through. And this is where I wish you guys were on a computer so that you could share your screen and you could
Yeah.
show me emails that are typed up. So guys, we need computers when we're going to run
You should be
businesses.
able to share that.
But he's
Yeah,
on
I'm
his
my
phone.
I mean, let me see if I can
phone.
figure out.
It's
I'm
a bit
on
more
the
difficult
phone.
to share and do these things. So let's just take this methodical. So you reached out to them and then they reached back to you. What did they say?
This was where I had made phone calls to the different hotels and got the name and email address of the general manager. So then I've got this email that I'm trying to put together. Hey,
but you didn't.
I've got this email.
But you didn't talk. But you didn't talk
No,
to
I
them.
have
You just called.
not talked to them yet. I just got their name and contact info.
Okay. So you could write. Let's just write a real easy. I wouldn't rely on just sending an email. It's better that you follow up with phone call. What's your email address,
Okay.
JB?
You can do quarterspringfarm@gmail.com.
So you want to send an email in anticipation of you calling them, correct?
Yes.
What city are you in?
Liberty.
Soaps, shampoos, what else?
For the hotel people, that's really the main thing. I mean, we do lotions too, but for the hotels, we're trying to move soaps and shampoos.
How many hotel clients do you have right now?
Two.
We have 2 like resorts or hotels and 2 Airbnbs. Well, one of the Airbnbs is like, let's say
It wasn't
3.
a long story. It was how many hotels do you have? It's usually means a number.
3.
One hotel and 2 Airbnbs.
A resort, a hotel, and an Airbnb, but I think that Airbnb is actually a small hotel.
Okay.
I don't know why I couldn't come up with that, man. I wore myself out this week trying to come up with an email, and you just tapped it out in about 2 minutes there.
Did you think too much?
Probably.
No, you do.
Okay, quit beating him down there, Heather. The quarterspringfarms.com.
Yes.
Which and then put your phone number in there.
536. Yeah, I can do it.
Oh.
536-5360, but I can do it.
Call yourself the head goat milker. What a cool fucking little title just to get somebody's attention. Right? You know what I'm saying? Don't need to be CEO, founder. Make it fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all the email that you need to send. And then when you make a phone call, hey, Joe, JB, head goat milker here at Quarter Spring Farms. That's how I'd introduce myself.
Okay.
Like, if somebody's there and be like, what? Head goat milker here at Quarter Spring Farm. I sent you an email. I'm following up because we work with a few hotels and we're starting to expand. And I love your hotel. Make sure you do a little research on the hotel. So if it says, well, what do you like about our hotel? You know, they'd be able to talk about their hotel and then be like, and then your process might be, who would be the right person for me to contact? Can I send you some samples, you know, and then just figure out what those sales stages are. And it's that simple.
Okay.
And I can whip something out that quick because I've been doing this for 30 years. I've been a salesperson for 30 years. But I couldn't walk into your facility and know how to milk a goat, right?
That's true.
me getting in my own way and thinking about it too much, Heather. It's just I don't know how to do it. So I'm thinking about it because I don't really know what I'm doing. How do we get to where we know what we're doing? You ask questions like this and you talk to an expert and you get help, right? So it's not overthinking, it's just I'm trying to learn, right? So that's where I
Cool.
would start. And that's the email I would send to all of them. And then make sure that you follow up within a few days at most and see where the process goes.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Who is next? LaShawn, Steph, are you guys just watching today? Jessica?
Yeah, I'm driving. So it's kind of hard to get on, but the conversation's really good. I booked a call with you for Tuesday, so we'll talk then.
Cool. Got it. LaShawn, Jessica, you guys got anything? Steve, you got anything? Justin? Justin's like, I'm just over here going crazy. I'm gonna fucking figure something out soon.
Yeah, I'm just watching today a little bit. I got a lot going on. I'm mostly wrapped up into the daily operations right now, packing, shipping, all that stuff. But I did have a question.
Would like for you to start on your weeklies. I'd like you to start putting your financials of how much in sales you're doing for the week. And I'll kind of mimic Jessica, who we're watching her financials a lot. Joe, put on your weekly financials and then maybe each month put your total revenues and your total net profit. So I can really get into the habit of doing that. We're going to be moving to Slack for instead of Facebook after the new year. But for right now, just do your Flex Fridays, include your numbers.
Okay, that sounds good. Our numbers are a little weird weekly because of the lag and I got you. I got it. I kind of wanted to ask, so the platform where we make all of our money, which is Facebook, a lot of the people that are in our industry are just like trying to keep the lights on. You know what I mean? They're liquidating their inventory. Like a lot of people are just dropping it down to literally cost or below. And I've just been digging my heels in so hard. I'm like, I've built this business. I'm not dropping things down to what I paid for them. Like, I just don't know if maybe it's time for me to join or if I should like sit tight and wait for everybody to get rid of all their stuff and then step back in. I don't know. I'm trying to do some other things like that other people are not doing rather than just drop.
I would want to focus on, are people not purchasing? Like, are people just not buying crystals? Is the economy hurting where people just aren't buying? And if that's the case, and you actually have that kind of business that's cyclical from an economic perspective, that is something to think about. You know, you just reminded me of something. You know, it's not like people aren't buying phones, but one of the members of AO, this guy Patrika, he buys people's cell phones when they're getting rid of them and they're upgrading and resells them overseas. And he also buys pallets. I mean, pallets and pallets and pallets. This guy does like 7 million doing this. He's got two or three retail stores, which he's building a franchise model out of the retail stores. And then he buys, you know, just when companies upgrade and, you know, just hundreds of thousands of dollars out of pallets. And then he has connections selling them overseas. It makes me wonder if there are larger companies that sell crystals and sell these things that you could be an arbitrator of buying these pallets of crystals and rocks and stones, et cetera, at pennies on the dollar, and then just being a broker and selling them to the companies that will buy larger lots of those things. See if there's an opportunity like that out there.
Yeah, almost like a wholesale type of.
Yeah, you're just buying stuff for one price and selling it to another, but not to the end consumer.
Yeah,
Like he does sell the phones in his 3 locations. He sells to the end consumer, and he does, you know, the break fix and buys people's phones for cash, et cetera, and then sells them phones. But you know, his real money comes from just doing arbitration, buying for one price and selling it to another wholesaler at a profit. I don't know
Yeah,
if that exists in your world, but it'd be worth trying to discover if it does.
for sure. I think there's a lot of smaller seller because it, like you were talking about a bunch of times, the barrier, the barrier to entry financially is very low. You just turn the camera on and start selling. Really, people don't worry about insurance and all that stuff typically, but yeah, most of the people I know are doing the same thing I'm doing and not, I just need to find people who are like one step, you know what I mean? The bigger sell buyers,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, because then all these people, you could just approach all these little companies and say, hey, there's a lot of little companies going out of business, and I found somebody that's buying, you know. So if you give me a list of your inventory and we can negotiate a price, I might be able to buy it all from you. And then you already have a buyer already established based on pricing. Like I know if I buy an iPhone 8 for this price, I know I already have it pre-sold over here for this. And so now it's just about negotiating how much margin I'm going to get.
And be in the middle, yeah. Instead, yeah, the last thing I want to do is get myself more inventory. But if yes, we've got the
But you got to go find those buyers. So go find the bigger buyers at bigger stores that if you buy for a certain price, right? XYZ company. What is your price list that if I could bring you those products at a lower price or a similar price, would you buy from me all day long? And you might find some that would say, yeah. So then you go to all these people and say, hey, if you have a crystals business and you're selling, send me an inventory
that's
and I
actually a
can tell
really
you
good idea. Yeah.
I can tell you if I could buy it.
Or even the people that are selling little and they're like, oh, we just want out. And then there's a whole bunch of people that want in. Like I could be, okay, that's a really good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Something to think about.
For sure. Thank you.
Yep. Woo, excuse me. All right. Anybody up next or are we done? Go ahead, Allison.
Good morning. So I have an accountability group that I had, that has been my business offering, my service for 4 years. And with the mental fitness, I've shifted. And in the last actual 3 days, I've been approached by more than one person asking me to do accountability again. So I just
Wait, you have
decided,
what?
I've had people approach me and ask me to do an accountability group specifically for real estate investors. And so I'm wondering about at least being open to the possibility of doing that
Are you open to
again.
making some?
Of course.
Okay. So where I would start is, okay, one person, treat each person individually and say, what is it that you're looking for out of an accountability group? What are you looking
Okay.
for? What type
Yeah.
of increment of time, every day, every week, every month? How often? What do you want to get out of it? All that type of stuff, and talk to as many people that are interested and
Uh-huh.
put a little group together of what they're all interested in, and then try
Okay.
to find a ground between it. And then you can pitch them and say, okay, I've talked to 6, 8 people that want to be in an accountability group. The most commonality thing is they want to meet once a week, once a month, once a day, whatever. Based on this, I would be happy to be the facilitator and bring in knowledge and information and facilitate everything. And the cost is going to be X amount of dollars per month. Who's
Okay.
interested?
All right. Good.
Because it's one thing to say, hey, I'm interested in an accountability group. Cool. Okay, cool. Well, are you interested in paying to be in an accountability group? If I can facilitate and make it happen. If not, then that's not really, that's not what I'm interested in doing. I do this as a business.
Exactly.
So if you're interested, what's your budget? Would you pay $100 a month, $200 a month, $50 a month, whatever it might be. And if you
Mhm.
have an accountability group and you can get, 6 people in it and they pay $100, that's it's an extra $600 a month. It's not like you don't have the time to do that, and then later on, if you get even busier and busier and busier, you might go, hey, my time is getting more limited. I got to raise the price if I want to keep doing this. And if people are seeing success with it, then they'll do it.
Perfect.
let them guide the way. In that situation, you're a facilitator and a coach. So facilitate giving them what they want. In business, one of the greatest, the easiest ways to make a sale is to sell somebody exactly what they want.
Talking to you is so valuable. Thank you.
And remember, people will pay for pleasure and to alleviate pain. They will find the money to obtain pleasure or alleviate pain. They will find the money.
Perfect.
The easiest way to make a sale is, hey, what is it that you're looking for to purchase? Oh, okay, I can sell you that. Okay, cool. That's the easiest sale you'll ever make.
I like your hat, Jessica.
Where did he go? What happened?
I don't know. LaShawn, are you the one in Nashville? No. Oh, it was Nigel. Somebody posted in the chat they're in Nashville.
Yes, I'm in Nashville.
Hi, Nigel. Me too.
Actually, I'm in Franklin.
Yeah, and actually I'm in Murfreesboro, but nobody knows those little towns. So
Yeah.
Nashville, everybody knows, right?
You must be the one Sean told me to connect with.
Oh, I don't know. Did he recommend that you come to the Pinnacle Mastermind?
I'm not sure. We were he was trying to get me a connection with somebody before he left town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd love to connect.
Okay.
Bye,
Yeah.
Steph. We didn't hear from her, but she's dropping.
I guess Sean's ended the meeting. I don't know. He just disappeared or something.
No, maybe something came up that he had to address, I imagine.
Maybe something.
He's never done that before, so we could just hang out and talk to each other. Right, Justin?
Yeah.
If I can figure out the mute button, yes, for sure.
You've got the mute button. Come on.
Yeah, on my phone, it goes hidden until I tap.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, that's it.
Sorry, I had a contractor. That's the thing. I'm sorry. We have so many contractors coming to the house like every day. All right, who is next? Nobody? All right. Get some good value today? We good?
Yeah. Good value. More value.
Definitely.
Yes.
Good deal.
Sean,
good deal.
are you getting a new house built, or are you moving out of state or something? What are you doing?
Traveling.
The plan as of right now is we are selling the house. Let me go ahead and unrecord here, so because this is just personal stuff now.